There are so many games coming out this year, and I cannot wait. And of course, like every year, I won't be able to play all the games, but out of all the games that are coming out this year, these are going to be my most anticipated games of 2023. Now, remember, this is just my opinion, but you're entitled to yours, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, without further ado, let's talk about some of the games that I'm kind of excited to hopefully play or come out this year. Alright, the first one that we're getting actually comes out later this month, which is the Dead Space remake. I already have mine pre-ordered, and I've honestly never played the original Dead Space. I do have it for the 360. However, I'm really looking forward to getting into it and seeing what all the hype is about. I know it's going to be a little bit different than the original, but actually that kind of gives me the idea to go ahead and go and play the original before the remake comes out. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Horror's not usually my thing, but with a game like this, it looks visually stunning. It's got a really eerie tone, kind of like a Ridley Scott sort of vibe. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game is. On the topic of horror, Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm looking forward to it because it's one of the most famous or infamous and most beloved horror survival games or action horror games of all time. I've never played the original Resident Evil. I have played and have the remake of Resident Evil 2 and 3 and really enjoyed those. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the Resident 4 remake. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I'm very excited for this one. I think it was supposed to come out last year, but it got delayed to this year. But either way, Rocksteady's killed it with the Arkham franchise, and I've loved the Arkham games. They're all great, and I especially even really enjoy Arkham Knight, and I'm really curious to see how this one's going to be. We're getting to see a lot of the Justice League finally in the Rocksteady Arkhamverse. We're getting to see Brainiac. I'm excited for that. And I'm curious to see how the gameplay works since it's got more of a co-op centered sort of thing going and there's multiple characters to play as. Anyway, I'm really excited for this new game. It looks like a lot of fun, and it's Kevin Conroy's last go as Batman, which is really saddening. But I can't wait to see his performance. I can't wait to see this game. It looks like a lot of fun. Lies of P is a game that I was really surprised to see, never heard of it. I don't know if anybody really heard of it. At least I for sure didn't. And is a really twisted, Bloodborne take on Pinocchio. And it really intrigues me because the story of Pinocchio is really twisted. And to make it this very more mature, twisted, almost like Grimm's fairy tale, American McGee sort of look at Pinocchio is very interesting. I'm not one for Dark Souls type games. I in some ways don't have patience. I did like Star Wars Fallen Order, which we'll probably circle back to later. But Lies of P looks like a really gothic sort of Bloodborne replacement that we're going to get. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I'm on the fence on if I want to pre-order it. I may wait and see what other people think of it first, but it looks visually interesting. It's completely down my alley, and it looks really, really cool. Spider-Man 2, PS5. I cannot wait for this one. I played both the original game on the PS4 and PS5 update, and just recently beat Miles Morales and loved both of them. They're both great games in terms of storytelling and gameplay, and are the best Spider-Man games this period. They're both great, and I cannot wait for the sequel, especially since we're going to be seeing Kraven the Hunter and Venom, which I'm really curious how they do. And apparently this game is going to be a lot darker than the first two games. So I'm really excited to see that. I can't wait for more Spider-Man gameplay. I'm guessing you get to play as both Peter and Miles. I don't know. But I'm really looking for this game. This game is one of but not quite my most anticipated game of the year. My most anticipated game has got to be, however, The Wolf Among Us Season 2. This has been a game I've been wanting for years now, because this freaking game, the original Wolf Among Us, is absolutely great. It has this really neo-noir sort of style to it. I love the cel shading. The coloring in the game is fantastic. It truly looks like a graphic novel, sort of comic book sort of look. I love the visual aesthetic. The music is great. The story is very, very interesting. And just the idea of putting all these fairy tale creatures in a real world and having a detective noir sort of story to it was great. I loved all the characters in the world they created in the first game. And I have been awaiting for a sequel for so long, and I'm just so finally excited to get to play this game, because the trailer I have watched multiple times and cannot wait to see what they do with Bigby and everybody else in this game. I can't wait to get back in the world of The Wolf Among Us. With that being said, those are kind of the games I've been looking forward to. I know there's a lot of others like Atomic Heart and Dead Island 2. Oh, wait, I forgot. Jedi Survivor. Duh. Dark Souls Star Wars game. The first one was great. I need to go and finish it. I've not finished it yet, but what I have played, it is really good. Really interesting narrative. And the combat is not... I don't know. I really like the combat despite me not being a Dark Souls-y kind of person. But I love the world of Star Wars. The controls are great. And it is tough. It is tough. And that's hard. That's for somebody who's not very patient. Games like those are really frustrating. But it's a great game. And this next one in the series is it just looks like more of the same, actually more than that, and it takes place 5 years after the original game. So I'm really curious what they do narratively, and I'm looking forward to a new Star Wars game like this. I'm really excited. A weird one that I'm honestly really excited for, kind of, and it's ridiculous, but the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game, made by the same guys that did, I believe it was the Ghostbusters game recently, and Friday the 13th. Ilphonic, I think, is doing it. And those games are both a lot of fun. More fun with people, but it's so weird that we're getting that. But it looks so much fun, and the variety looks great. It actually looks like a really fun horror survival sort of game. I can't... And that actually is one I can't wait for, to be honest. And with that, those are honestly my most anticipated games. What are your most anticipated games that I didn't really get to talk about? I know there's Hogwarts Legacy, Eternights looks interesting. There's a lot of others. Oh, the new Legend of Zelda. Anyway, what are your most anticipated? These are mine. What are yours? Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. And as always, thank you guys for stopping by, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.